It's been a while since I've filmed. I've been uploading, but I did a bunch of pre-filming, so this is the first time I've actually sat in front of a camera in like 6 weeks. So I thought that I need something that is like just kind of fun and easy, and very conveniently, Brooklyn at Brooklyn's Library, hello, tagged me in the library tag. You should definitely check out Brooklyn's channel. She does some really great videos, like really funny reviews and like book clubs, and like just, she has a really nice little community going there out. But the library tag was originally started by Book Buds. I'll link the original video down below. And it's for anybody who does or does not go to the library. So there's two different sets of questions. The first one is obviously the one that I'm going to be using, and that's oriented towards people who are using the library with a certain amount of frequency. And then there's a set of questions also for people who don't use the library, which I think is really cool. So I am here with my lovely Earl Grey tea, and I'm ready to chat about the library with you guys, one of my favorite subjects. So the first question is, how often do you go to the library? So I use my library all the time. I use Libby mostly on my phone right now because I can't figure out how to get it sent to my Kindle because I'm living in Australia right now. I'm pretty sure there is a way to do that, but I just haven't figured it out. But that's not a problem because when I'm getting books from the library, I tend to get the audiobook. Then it makes it really easy to listen from my phone anyway. If I'm reading on I do have my Kindle, like I said. I try to buy books when they're on sale. I mean, sometimes I just read it on my phone. I know that's not like great, it's not always comfortable, but sometimes it's perfect. Especially for shorter books, like I think the last book I read was Annie bought from my library on my phone. And it was really like 400 tiny little pages that I could just go through really quickly, and it's just convenient, especially if I don't have my Kindle around. In terms of like a physical library visit, I don't go as much as I would like to. I do a couple of times a month, maybe once or twice a month, partly to get books. I just got this one, The Moon Over the Mountain. I've never heard of it. It was in the fantasy and horror genre, and it has multiple pictures of cats, like big cats and little cats and a little girl, and I just thought, I'm here for that. I like that. Oh, there's cats on the back too. Yeah. So lots of cats. But yeah, I use the library public spaces a lot to do work if I'm like not working in my house or in an office. And I really love that. I used to live really close to the Vancouver Library, and that was just so nice. I spent like every afternoon there. But since coming to Australia, I haven't used it very much. My branch is actually pretty small, and there's just not like real nice workspaces, and there's not a ton of selection. But I did, partly because I was doing this tag, kind of prompted me to look at what the actual collections are that I can order in from the other branches. And I did put a hold on a few books, so I'm looking forward to picking those up. Because if given the choice between and physical book, I do prefer a physical book, but I usually read on just because it's convenient, like I said. So the second question is, do you belong to more than one library system? Yes. I feel like I'm doing something illegal by admitting to this because I am currently connected to a small town in Canada library where I was like a teenager. So I have my library card there. And then I went to Vancouver for university, so I have a library card there. Then I moved with my partner to Singapore, so I have a library card there, and now we're currently in Australia, so I have a local library card. So I have 4 library systems that I am using, and it's amazing. Honestly, I love it. It's the one upside, I guess, of moving around a lot, because if there's a book I want, I can almost always get it through the library with a very short wait time. I don't know, is it a little dirty? Like, I do have to pay for the Singapore library card. Technically, I'm a permanent resident, so it's much more affordable for me to get it there. Yeah, I got it. I'm working the system. Question 3 is, what % of books that you read come from the library? The vast majority. Like, I'm trying really, really hard not to buy books, which is very hypocritical of me to say because I just bought a huge amount, and probably my next video is going to be like a small haul of everything that I've kind of gotten as a physical book recently. But I try really hard not to buy books just because we move around so much, and I kind of have this constant tension in me about like consumerism versus like supporting artists and work that you love. And Anyway, that's not what the question's about. But yeah, you can see I don't have like a huge bookshelf, so I try not to get too many. I read probably like 90% of my books on the library. Question 4, do you listen to audiobooks or get ebooks from the library, or are you hooked on Audible or Amazon or something else? Kind of already answered this question in question 1, but I use my library as like a first option. If I love the book, I'll go and buy the book, either on or in like a physical copy, especially if I know that I'm going to want to do a reread. I have Audible as well. They have a lot of like free stuff. I hate Jeff Bezos. I don't want to support that, but it's just the way that you access books right now. It's like the number one way. So if you have alternatives, I'd love to hear about those. But yeah, I do have an Audible subscription. I find I usually get like indie stuff through Audible that I can't necessarily access in my library. So it's almost exclusively indie stuff that I'll get through that way, or if they have like a really good sale that I might as well just buy it. And in Australia, they have an app called Borrow Box. Have you used this? I don't. I downloaded it last night. It seems amazing. It's what my library seems to use in addition to Libby, but they have more options on it. So I don't know. That's the situation in terms of that. I try to avoid Jeff Bezos, but you kind of can't, and so sometimes you just can't. Question 5 is, did you go to storytime at the library as a kid? I have a lot of very strong memories of going to the library as a kid, but not that many of storytime. So we used to live in a really tiny kind of fishing town in Canada, and then we would have to take a ferry, and we would do a ferry day trip like once or twice a month to go to the Vancouver Public Library, which is like one of probably the biggest libraries in Canada, which is probably not saying that much given the population of Canada, but it was an amazing place for me as a child. And they did have like library events, but I don't really have a strong memory of a story time, but I'm sure that I went to them because we spent a lot of time in libraries. What I do remember is going to a Halloween party in the library because I dressed up as Pippi Longstockings, and I had like braids I had super long red hair, right? And my mom put wire through the back of my braids to make them stick out. And there was a boy that was standing next to me in a line when we were getting judged for our costumes. And he was like getting mad at me because he thought that I was touching him, but it was my hair. My hair was touching him, and he didn't like it. And I remember feeling very bad about that, and then irritated at him because he was standing too close, obviously. Question 6. Have you ever borrowed a movie or a video game from your library? I did not realize that you could get a video game from your library. Do people use video games from discs anymore? Because I do not. I think I download them through Steam. So I'm not sure how that would work unless it's like a PlayStation thing. I don't know. And I have not borrowed a movie either. I heard there is this thing called Canopy that I haven't used. I really don't watch that many movies or TV. Like reading and audiobooks are really my main source of like media entertainment. I would be interested in looking at how you download a movie, but like, do you download a DVD? No, do you download a DVD? Oh my God. Do you borrow a DVD? If you do this, tell me, do you borrow a DVD or is it an app? My mother has told me about this thing called Canopy where you can watch shows or movies through the library, but I have not looked into it. So is that what you use? Tell me, I would like to know about this because maybe I would be interested. As a child, I definitely did. I remember that we got this amazing documentary about people in northern Canada, the Inuit, and like what their traditional lifestyle was about. And it was like, I think a guy that went to go and just like live with them and learn Inuktitut. And I have this very vague memory. And it was a very old film when we got it too. I think we got it for the VCR. So it was a while ago. Okay, question 7. Have you ever gotten fined for returning books late? If so, how do you feel about that? Absolutely, and I feel very bad every time because I know that I am that asshole that's keeping the books when somebody else probably wants to read it, and I don't want to be that person, but it's just something that kind of... And it's another reason that I don't tend to actually take physical books out as much because I love Libby and I love that it will just like automatically take the books away. So I am like monitoring the return date for this so closely. I'm so nervous. because I also want to be able to like hold it up in my wrap up and be like, I read a physical book. So yes, I do sometimes. I try very hard not to, and I am totally fine with getting fined because it's my responsibility. Number 8, do you attend special events, groups, or book sales at the library? Not recently. I would really like to. In Singapore and Australia here, they have been having like incredible events where they're hosting authors and having writing workshops, and I would be really interested in going to one of the writing workshops or one of the things. I would like to be more involved. I like being involved in community, especially bookish community, and I would like to do that. And so I don't know why I haven't done it, but maybe I should start doing it. Number 9, have you ever given or taken a book from a little free library, a book box, or a book swap? No, I don't think that I have. I've been really wanting to. In Singapore, the weather kind of sucks for anything like that. You can't really keep things outside. It's super, super humid, like 90% humidity, and it rains like every single day. So it's not a great place to have a little free library, and I don't know of anybody who actually does, but in my city they do have them. I would love to go around and take some, leave some, and do that because I just think they're so cute. Bonus, does your librarian know you by name? No, because I don't really go in very much. When I was a kid, they did know my name, and they would clear my fines for me because I was in there so much, and they knew I would bring the books back. And I think they just wanted to encourage this like child in reading. For number 11, tag some friends. I should also say, guys, if you're tagged, no pressure, please, to do the tag. I know some people don't love tags. I'm just taking the opportunity to shout people out. Elizabeth, a literary princess. She is a PhD student who does videos about like Victorian literature and other contemporary stuff that she's reading, and I think always offers kind of a balanced review or perspective on the books that she's reading. She also does a little thing called Fairy Tale Friday that I have been just loving so much, where she covers a specific fairy tale and the different retellings and unpacks some of that. So definitely check her channel out. I also want to shout out Miss Pizza Reads. I don't think she has her actual name here, so I am gonna just call you Miss Pizza. I love her videos. I discovered her channel quite recently. She has the cutest dog that's in like every single video, and that always just makes me smile so much when I see the dog come on screen, and then we talk about books, and it's great. She reads a lot of like romantasy and some like thriller, horror, fantasy. She has recently been talking a lot about the Mead Mishaps series, which I just got it from my local library to read because of her recommendation. So again, her channel is linked below. And the next person that I want to shout out is Rochelle from, I think her channel is called GoodMorninDreamer. Rochelle always has really great recommendations. Again, she focuses a lot on disability rep, which I personally love. And I also feel like Rochelle also just finds some of the kind of less popular books and spends a lot of time chatting about things that you might not have heard of before. So check her out. No pressure, you guys, to do the tag. Oh my god, this is when the sports team starts screaming in the background. It's always in the last 10 minutes of the video, but please ignore them. Unbridled amounts of testosterone out there, honestly. So as usual, thank you so much for watching. It feels really nice to kind of be chatting to you again. I would love to hear how you get your books in the comments, if you use your library, if you don't, and do you use like how the video thing works in 2024. But that's all for me. So if you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very lovely day. Bye.